complete your online those LMS video tutorials as soon as possible. I have seen that some of you just wait a minute over. Okay. So I guess Achal, uh, Chinking Ritik, Yaifaba, Esatishi, um, and Rajnandini. You guys have completed. Okay. Apart from that, those who have not yet completed, try to complete that course as soon as possible. As if you will get busy somewhere, then see it's only 120 days duration. Before that, try to complete that. Now, in our last session, we I have discussed k-means clustering with you. Remember? I hope this numerical is clear to everyone. If you have any doubt, let me know because we are going to see the implementation of k-means today. What happened? I hope the numerical is clear to everyone. If you have any doubt, please ask because we are going to see the implementation today. No? Okay. Wait, let me join with another PC. I think Anaconda is not. Actually, now the voice will not echo. Just give me 2 minutes. Where's the file? Data set. Okay. Let's suppose I have this data set. Okay. And this data set contains these columns. Customer ID. Let me increase its size. Customer ID, gender, age, annual income, and spending score. Okay. So this is the data set of mall customers who visit mall. Okay, and there some details of the customers are given. Okay, like customer ID is generally okay. Like one customer came, so it is given as number one, not any particular ID or something like that. Okay. Okay, so customer ID is there, then we have gender, and then we have customer's age, their annual income in dollar, okay, in $1,000, and then spending score, like how much they are spending in mall. Now, now tell me, is this a labeled data set or unlabeled data set?
Label data set.
Is it a labeled data set? Can you tell me the column name which is showing labels? Try looking at the data set. Can you find any labels, like any labeling is given here?
Spending score, what is this?
How much they are spending when they are visiting mall? Okay, maybe they will spend on food, they will they will buy something, or they will watch movie, maybe if there is any cinema hall or something like that. So how much totally they are spending, okay, when they are
That
visiting?
is unlabeled.
This is an unlabeled data set. There is no labeling in this data set. Okay, only their details are given. Okay, some features are given. There is no column which you can say that this is labeling these particular features. Okay, so if we have unlabeled data set, what are the different type of algorithms we can use to analyze this data set? Obviously, I cannot use supervised algorithm. I can only use unsupervised algorithms, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in unsupervised, I have the clustering as an option and association. I don't want to find any association between these attributes. Okay. I want to create some groups. I want to make some clusters. Okay. So I am going to use the clustering algorithm. And we have studied about k-means, which is one of the famous clustering algorithm. Okay, k-means lies in hard clustering or soft clustering? Is it a centroid based or density based or distribution based or hierarchical based?
Centroid based.
Centroid based. Good. It's a centroid based hard clustering algorithm. Okay, now I want to now if I implement k-means, okay, I want to train this data set. This is an unsupervised data set. Okay, how I can do that? Let's open Spider IDE. Okay. Firstly, I have read these libraries. Pandas SPD, because I need to read my data set, I need to pre-process my data set. Okay, so I have read Pandas. Then I have imported Pandas. Then I have imported Seaborn and Matplotlib, which is both the libraries used for plotting purpose. Okay, if you want to plot something, I want to plot clusters. So I have imported these two libraries as well. Okay, then I have imported k-means from sklearn.cluster. Okay, you have used sklearn before as well when you were implementing ensembling and decision tree algorithms. Remember? Let's just execute this. Okay. Now, worked well. Now, next is you have to import the data set. So the format is, since I have a CSV file, I'll write pd.read_csv, and a file I'm storing, dataset I'm storing in a variable called dataset. Up to you which variable you want to create. Okay. Then I'm giving a file name. An index column I'm mentioning as customer ID. So remember my first not here. It's right. My first column. I'm taking this as my index column, customer ID. Okay. Let's come back here. Let's just execute this. No, it will give me error because I have to give the complete pathway here. So let's just choose the file from here. Okay. So it's in my E drive, big data folder, and then in a clustering. Okay, let's just select this. Now if I execute this line, successfully worked. Let me just minimize it. Okay. So I have read the data set. After reading the data set, what are the next steps? Okay. Basically, you do pre-processing. Okay. Now I want to see how I have read the data set, how it's looking. So what if I write dataset.head? What it will give me?
Top 5 rows.
First 10 rows. First 5 rows.
First
Sorry.
5 rows, right? Now, dataset.info.
Information about attributes.
So I have 200 rows totally, and all those are non-null. Okay. Along with that, it gives me the data type of the columns. Now, dataset.describe. Statistical information. Okay. Dataset.shape. That you should answer. Dataset.shape.
Rows and columns.
Number of rows and columns. Okay. So I have 200 rows and 4 columns. Okay. Now, dataset.isNull.sum means
Count of null values for each column.
right. Okay. So we have 0 null values. So we don't have to handle the null values because we have 0 null values. Okay. Next is dataset.drop_duplicate in place equal to true. In place equal to true, I'll explain. But tell me about dataset.drop_duplicates.
Deletes duplicate rows.
Delete duplicate row. Okay. This will delete the duplicate rows. If there are any duplicate rows, those rows will be deleted. But we have written in place equal to true. Means the changes should be done in your original data set. Okay. It should not be like a view kind of thing. Okay. The changes in place equal to true means the changes needs to be done in the original data set. Okay. It should not be like you have created a copy where you have dropped the duplicate, but your original data set still contains those duplicate values. So if you mention in place equal to true, those changes will be reflected in your original data set. Okay. So those duplicates will be dropped from your original data set. Let's just run this. Okay. Now if I check the shape, will if let's suppose their duplicate values exist, duplicate rows exist. So will the shape change or not? If duplicate values, right? So,
Number of rows will change.
right. So 200,4 means we don't have any duplicate values as well. Now I want to analyze data, analyze that unsupervised data or unlabeled data. And for that, I'm considering only second and third column. Okay. I want to only analyze these 2 columns, annual income and spending score. But tell me one thing I have written here, 2,3. If you will count here, this annual income, I want to, this annual income, it will be a second column or the third column? See, I am taking into consideration annual income and spending score. Only these two columns I am taking. Okay, for which I have mentioned here 2, 3. Is this correct or not?
3, 4, it should be.
It should be 3, 4.
Yes.
Everyone agrees with that? Okay. It should be 3, 4. But here, when I was reading the data set, I have mentioned customer ID is my index column. Okay. So it is counting from the next column onwards. Okay. So it is like 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Like this it is counting, because this it is considering as your index column. Okay. That is why if I want to have annual income and spending score to in my data set, in my new data set which I am going to train, I will write here 2. This is my second column and this is my third column. Okay, let's come back here. 2, 3. And here I have mentioned colon and nothing is mentioned over here. This column means all the rows. Okay. And this 2, 3 means column. So before comma, if you are mentioning only colon, it means you are selecting all the rows. Okay. If you want to select some particular rows, give the range over here. Like the range I have given for columns. Similar way, you can give the range for rows as well. But I want to consider all the rows. So I have mentioned here column. Okay. Then 2, 3, because I want to have second and third column. I want to analyze these two columns, based spending score and their annual income. Okay. Dot values means the cell values will be there. This I have stored in my X variable. Understood, everyone? Let's just execute this. And if you will see X value, it only contains 2 columns and all the rows. There will be around 200 rows. Okay. 0 to 199. And see, only 2 columns. One is annual income, another is spending score. Okay. This I have taken as my X data set. Okay. Now, what I am going to do? I am going to apply k-means here. So, to apply k-means, what I have done, firstly, I will create a classifier type of thing. Okay, I'll store the values in k-means. Remember, in ensembling and decision tree, always what we have done, we have set some values, and those values of the model we have stored in one variable, right? And we have used that variable to train our model. Here also, I'm storing all these values of k-means which I'm going to set in the k-means variable. Now, what values I'm setting over here? See, k-means which I have imported, I have written here. This k-means is a variable. This k-means which I have imported from, which I have imported from sklearn.cluster. Okay. Then this is my number of clusters I have to define. See, I have told you the first step is you have to tell the algorithm how many clusters you require. There are different methods which you can use to find out the number of clusters. Okay, but for the first time, we are just giving the numbers by ourselves. Okay, we are randomly saying that we need 5 clusters. Okay. Another thing is init method. Init method, what it does is basically init method will select the first time, it will select the random centroids from your data set. Centroid selection will be there, so that init method will do. Okay. Then we have random state, means data it will select randomly. Okay. Random state 0. Even if you will not mention, the data set will be randomly selected. Okay. Then this is ready. We have stored all these values into k-means. Now we need to train our model. Okay. For that, what we are going to do, k-means dot fit underscore predict, and in this we are passing that X variable, and in X we know We have those two columns with all the rows, annual income and spending score. And those things we are storing into y underscore k means. So y underscore k means what it is going to store, it is going to store the cluster ID. Okay, because every row present in X will get a cluster ID, right or not? When it will form a cluster, every data point present in your cluster will have a cluster ID. They will be resemble with a cluster ID that you are going to store in y underscore k means. This is just a variable. Okay, so value we are getting from k means dot fit underscore predict. The value which we are getting from this statement is the cluster IDs for every rows. Okay, that we are storing in y underscore k means. So let's just run this. I forgot to run k means, I guess. Okay. Now it's working. Now if you will see y underscore k means, see, it contains only these number 4, 3, and you will see somewhere it is 0, 1, something like that. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So since I have mentioned 5 clusters, so every row get the cluster ID between 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, either 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4. Right or not? Is it confusing? Say something. Any issue, any problem? I'm considering everyone understands this statement. Okay. Now, we have said that we have taken 2 columns for our data set and all the rows in that columns as our data set. And also we have stored the values of cluster ID in y underscore k means. The last thing, we need to plot this cluster. How we are going to plot this cluster? Okay. So PLT we have imported. Okay, PLT dot figure size we have given 15,7. Okay. Now scatter plot we are using. Here what we are going to do, X, we have 5 clusters. So 5 times we will plot. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is showing the cluster ID. Okay, and this y underscore k means equal to 0, 0, 0, comma 0. See, first 0 is showing the cluster ID. Second 0 here, it is showing the axis. Okay, so and here also this is showing this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the cluster ID and this is the axis, right? So if you will interchange, your data point placement will interchange. Okay, like you are placing, this is basically showing the placement of your data point. So it will be, if you are taking this as an X, so it will be 0, and this as an Y, so this will be 1. Then color for the cluster for the data points, then its label as well. Okay, then its label. So let's just give it a label of cluster 1. Okay, to every cluster we will give some label. And size, the data point size. Okay, so we are giving it as 50. Another thing, we will plot centroid as well. Data points we have plotted. Okay, now we will plot centroid as well. That we have placed plotted in line number 32. How? SNS dot scatter plot, k means dot cluster underscore center. So this is to plot your centroid. Okay, so centroid, what it will do, it will take the average or mean of all the data point. Okay, and it will be placed here. It is showing colon means all the rows, and it is showing 0 means for x-axis we are defining. Then we have defined for y-axis as well. Okay, then its color we have mentioned, its label we have mentioned, size we want to make the centroid size quite bigger. Okay, So S equal to 300 and marker, how it should look. Okay. If you have learnt about Matplotlib or if you have seen scatterplot, there you will see that if you want to put squares or triangles, so there are different marking notations. Okay, so this is this comma, I guess, used to place squares. Okay, I think a dark round or no, I think it's for triangle. Just we will see that. Okay, let's just execute this. Okay, let's just see this as well. Plot dot grid false means we don't want any lines any horizontal or vertical lines, so we are making it as false. Title means it will give you the title when you will plot this. X label means on X axis you will get this label, and on Y label you will get this labeling. And legend means basically when I run this now, I'll show you how the legend look. Okay, if you have plotted graph earlier, you must be knowing what is legend. Okay, and plt.show to show the graph. Okay, let's just execute this. This is good. Okay. So see, this is legend. Now see, spending score and annual income we have plotted. Annual income on x-axis and spending score on y-axis. Then this is the title, clusters of customers, and then this is the legend. Okay, centroid we have placed the comma basically in scatter plot plotted a square. Okay, a red color because red color we have mentioned, and for every cluster we have given some color. Now see what it has done. It has plotted your data points into cluster. Plotted your data points into cluster. Now what you can analyze after getting the cluster? By looking at the data set, we cannot analyze anything. But by looking at the cluster, we can analyze some of the points. Okay, like see, people here have low income, and see their spending score is also less. So they can be seen that sensible type of person. Their annual income is low, and their spending score is also low when they are visiting mall. Okay. Now here see, people's annual income is low, but they are spending very high. Irresponsible type of people, you can say. Okay. Their income is very low, but they are spending very high. Now this kind of, if you will go to this cluster, this is blue one is cluster 2, right? So if you will see these types, their annual income is average and their spending score is also average. Sensible type of, you can say. Okay. Now here their annual income, this yellow cluster, see, annual income is high, but spending score is less. Income is high, spending score is less. So if you are selling something to these type of customer, you should be very careful with that. You cannot just give a wrong product or a broken product or something like that to these type of customer, because they are spending very their spending score, even though their income is high, but they are spending very less. So if you will give something bad to them, there is probability that they will not visit to your store again. Okay, if you are giving a bad food to them, there is 100% chances that they will not visit to your restaurant again. Okay, so you should be very careful with these type of customer. And if you will go with these green ones, which have high income and their spending score is also high, you can interpret, like, if you can do one thing. You can, if you have something new, or if you have something new in your shop or expensive, you can show them, you can make them your customer. Okay, by showing these different items, by explaining them that how it can be beneficial for them. Okay, you can basically target, they could be your targeted customer. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken some data set, we have plotted into clusters, and by looking at the cluster, we are trying to figure out something. Okay, if something beneficial like green type of customer, we can target them. Okay, we can show them new product, expensive product. With the yellow ones, we should be alert. Okay, we should be very careful. Blue ones are okay. You can show, means it should not be like they will be coming back with so many complaints. Okay, yellow ones, these orange ones are already very careful while spending. These gray ones are irresponsible type of thing. So something you can interpret, okay, by looking at the data. So clustering can be helpful in analyzing those type of things. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Is that okay if I'll wind up the session today, because I have urgent meeting after 10 to 15 minutes, and because I only need to cover only one topic. I don't know where's the team is. Only one topic is left. Like if we by ourselves don't say that how many clusters we require, there are several methods by which we can find out the number of clusters, the value we can find out, and then we can apply the algorithm. Only this method we need to see with implementation. Is it okay if I discuss this tomorrow instead of today with everyone? Okay, Anushka.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's meet tomorrow. Then tomorrow will be our last session. Okay, on machine learning. Bye bye. Take care.